Hi everyone! Shortly after I was done with my previous gouache painting on black paper, I decided that I was going to try on black watercolor paper because it's thicker and it would take the water better without making the paper buckle too much. So I had some Stonehenge black watercolor paper, cold press, which is really nice. It's also 100% cotton. And that's what I wanted to try. However, I found out that it also made black watercolor paper that's hot press. And I thought it would be perfect for gouache because it's nice and smooth. So I quickly ordered some. And like usual, some time passed because I get distracted with other projects. And I'm only just now getting around to using it. I used a white watercolor pencil to do my sketch. I figured that with the water that I was going to use with the gouache, it would dissolve the lines. I did try to be careful though, because again, working on black paper, when you erase your lines, you might damage or compromise the surface of the paper, whether it's in the quality of the paper or just the looks of it. But the sketch was pretty easy to do, so I figured I would just jump right in. And then I just started applying my first layers. So with gouache, often people, and that's what I do too, like to start with more watered down paint and then add thicker and thicker layers. Because if you add too much water over a thick layer, then it's just gonna remove everything. So right away I saw that it was gonna be a challenge, because when I applied my first layer, I could see the black paper through it right away. So when you use white paper, the transparency of your paint isn't as obvious. But when you use black paper, you really can see it through your paint. So I knew I was gonna have to add a lot of layers. But what I did was to just take it one step at a time. And I blocked all the different colors right away with a thin layer and decided to add more layers on top of it later, one area at a time. And considering that gouache is a pretty opaque paint, once I started using thicker and thicker layers, it was great to see how the paint was popping on that black paper. So I get frustrated a bit, especially painting the mushroom cap, because it's a larger area than I'm used to paint. And it didn't come along the way I wanted it, as fast as I wanted it. So yeah, it took me a while to work on that. And then when I figured out I should use a bigger brush, then it worked better and I was a little bit happier. In the end, I'm pretty happy with it, a lot more than while I was painting it. And if you've known my art for quite a while, then you should know that I really like using black paper, especially with colored pencils. And that's why this was a fun and exciting project to work on. So I'm most likely gonna keep on painting with gouache on black paper, but I still have to try the cold watercolor paper. Sometimes the texture of the paper adds another dimension to the painting, and I'm curious to see what the painting's gonna look like on the cold press paper. But that will be the subject of another video. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're feeling extra generous, you can always click on the thanks button right next to the share button right under this video. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.
We drove to New Jersey. Your eyes seen, I'll be worried. You said it was nothing, but I knew you get buried. The sorrow of us, the sorrow of us. How did we end up here? We used to laugh so hard. When did we stop loving, babe? When did it all go too far? We don't listen when we talk. We fight fire with fire. It's like we don't know how to talk without the phrase getting higher. You hear when I hear me, yeah, nothing else in between, yeah. Try to connect without making a scene, but we don't listen when we talk. We don't listen when we talk. I know you have your reasons to yell at me tonight, baby. Can we see this as a lesson? Then maybe we should open up. The sorrow of us, the sorrow We